Listen closely because what I'm about to share with you is more than just advice, it's survival. This is the kind of wisdom whispered by grandmothers as they stir a pot of soup, passed down through the knowing eyes of mothers who have seen too much, and written in the quiet resilience of women who have learned, often the hard way, that not everything is meant to be shared. A woman's heart is not an open book. It is a fortress, a sacred space, a vault of fire and tenderness. Not every man deserves the keys. Not every soul is worthy of its deepest secrets. And if you don't understand this now, you may learn it the painful way. When trust is shattered, when love is tested, when all that remains is your own strength holding you together, because in this world a woman is expected to give endlessly, to nurture, to heal, to pour herself into others, until there's nothing left. But let me tell you something she must also protect. Not just her body, but her peace. Not just her love, but her dreams. Not just her presence, but her power. And that means knowing what to guard with everything inside her. So, if you've ever felt betrayed, if you've ever given too much and been left empty, if you've ever wished you had held back just a little more, then listen. Because some things are too precious to be placed in the wrong hands. And if you understand this, truly understand this, you will never be the same again. Listen and listen well, because if there's one truth a woman must hold on to, it's this. Your insecurities are not for public display. They are not confessions to be made in blind faith. They are not weapons to be handed over to someone who may one day use them against you. Because let me tell you something. This world is not always kind to vulnerability. It will take the softest, most fragile parts of you and turn them into leverage. It will twist your honesty into ammunition. And a man, any man, even a good one, is still just that. A man, flawed, human, capable of love, but also capable of hurting you in ways you never saw coming. No matter how deeply he loves you, no matter how fiercely he swears to protect you, there may come a day when he won't know what to do with the weight of your fears. It happens in arguments that cut too deep, in anger that flares too high, in moments when love isn't enough to stop the damage. And suddenly the very thing you once whispered in trust is thrown back at you like a blade. That's why you're not good enough. That's why you'll never make it. That's why you'll always be afraid. And in that moment, when your deepest insecurity is no longer your own but has been reshaped, twisted, used against you, you will understand why you must be careful. Your insecurities are not gifts to be given away recklessly. They are wounds still healing. They are the weight only you know how to carry, and only you have the power to control them. A man can love you, but love does not guarantee understanding. Love does not erase the instinct to win an argument. Love does not mean he will always know how to hold your fragile things without crushing them. So hear me when I say this. Your fears, your doubts, the demons that keep you awake at night, do not put them in the wrong hands. Some men are gentle, some men are kind, but even the kindest hands can drop what they do not know how to hold. And let's be honest, people change. The man who swears today that he would never hurt you may not be the man you face tomorrow. Time reveals, love shifts, life tests, and the last thing you want is to realize, too late, that you gave a piece of yourself to someone who did not know its value. A strong woman learns to stand guard over her own heart. She whispers her fears only to herself, or to those who have proven, beyond doubt, that they will never turn them into weapons. She knows that some battles are hers alone. Because let me tell you something about power. Power is in what you choose to share and what you choose to protect. A woman who hands over her insecurities without thought is a woman who gives away a piece of her armor. And in this world, in this life, you need every piece of strength you can hold, so be careful, be wise, and above all else, be your own protector. Because at the end of the day, your deepest insecurities belong to you, and not every man deserves to hold them. 2. To a woman, financial independence is not just about money. It is about power, autonomy, and the ability to make choices on her own terms. It is the defining line between staying in a situation because she desires to and staying because she has no other option. If there is one thing a woman must fiercely protect, it is her financial independence. Because let's be real, when love and money intertwine, the game can become dangerous. It starts subtly, a joint account here, a shared financial decision there. Trust is given freely, lines begin to blur, and before she realizes it, control has slipped from her hands. This is not to say that love and trust don't belong in a relationship. They absolutely do. A partnership is built on mutual respect, teamwork, and shared goals. But let's not be naive. Love does not guarantee security. People change, circumstances shift, and fairy tale endings are not promised. A woman who lacks her own financial foundation is a woman who risks losing everything when the ground beneath her starts to tremble. Have you ever seen a woman trapped? A woman stuck in a marriage, a home, a situation that no longer serves her, no longer respects her, no longer loves her, but she stays. Not because she wants to, not because she believes in second chances, not because she still holds on to hope, but because she has no escape, no money of her own, no account in her name, no savings tucked away for an emergency. That is not love. That is not security. That is a cage, constructed slowly, brick by brick, day by day, out of misplaced trust in the belief that someone else would always do right by her. But life is unpredictable, and a woman who does not guard her financial independence may one day find herself in a position where she must ask for permission in a life that was supposed to be hers. So understand this. A man does not need to know every dollar you have. He does not need access to every account, every investment, every future plan you have meticulously built for yourself. Because before any title, before any vow, before any whispered promise of forever, your future belongs to you. A wise woman moves in silence. She builds, she saves, she prepares, not because she expects betrayal, but because she respects herself enough to be ready for any outcome. And a man who truly loves her will not fear her independence. He will not see it as a threat, but as a reflection of her strength, intelligence, and resilience. But let's also be honest. Some men do not seek love, they seek control, and they will use money as a weapon, as a leash, slowly tightening their grip until freedom is nothing but a distant memory. That is why a woman must always have something set aside for herself, something untouchable, something that belongs to her alone. Because life happens, people leave, love shifts. Even the strongest relationships can crack under the weight of reality. And a woman must not just prepare for the good times, she must prepare for all times. This is not secrecy. This is not deception. This is protection. This is self-respect. This is ensuring that no matter what happens, you are never at the mercy of someone else's choices. So hear me now. Your financial independence is not a topic for debate. It is not a secret to be spilled in moments of trust. It is not a sacrifice to be made for the sake of love. It is yours. Because no matter how much you love a man, no matter how much he loves you, no matter how deeply you believe in forever, forever is uncertain. But your strength, your self-sufficiency, your ability to stand tall on your own 2 feet, that is something no one should ever take from you. 3. A wise woman understands the power of silence. She does not broadcast her every move, nor does she lay her plans bare for the world to scrutinize. Because the moment you speak your next step out loud, you invite doubt, delay, and even destruction from those who may not have your best interest at heart. Some things flourish in quiet. Some dreams need space to breathe before they are exposed to the noise of opinions, skepticism, and interference. When it comes to a woman's next move, whether it's her career, her ambitions, or a personal decision, not everyone needs to know what's coming next. Because let's be honest, people are not always cheering for you. Some smile in your face while secretly hoping for your downfall. Some claim to support you, but quietly plant seeds of doubt in your mind. And sometimes the very person you trust the most, the one you believe will stand by you no matter what, may unknowingly hold you back. Not out of malice, not because he doesn't love you, but because your growth unsettles him. Your ambition forces him to confront his own limitations. Your success makes him question his own path. And some men simply do not know how to handle a woman who is constantly evolving, constantly rising, constantly striving for more. So hear me when I say this. Your plans are precious. Your goals are sacred. And a wise woman understands that the strongest moves are made in silence, not because she is hiding, but because she knows not everything is meant to be shared. Think about it. How many times have you confided in someone about your plans, only to feel the weight of their doubts pressing down on you? Are you sure that's a good idea? Do you really think you can do that? What if it doesn't work out? And suddenly, the fire that was burning inside you, the passion that was pushing you forward, begins to dim. Not because you lost faith in yourself, but because you allowed someone else's fears to seep into your own. That is why a woman must be selective with her words. She must know when to speak and when to stay silent. She must recognize that not every battle needs an audience, and not every victory needs to be announced before it happens. Because there is power in mystery, strength in moving without explanation, freedom in knowing that your next step belongs to you and you alone. A woman who moves in silence is a woman who cannot be stopped. She does not seek permission. She does not wait for validation. She does not pause until others believe in her. She simply moves. She builds. She grows. And when the time is right, when her vision has become reality, when her dreams have solidified into something undeniable, then the world will see what she has been creating. And by then, it will be too late for anyone to stop her. By then, the foundation will already be set. The work will already be done. And no doubt, no interference, no outside voice will be able to take away what she has built. So listen carefully. Keep your next move to yourself. Protect your plans as if they are your most valuable possession, because they are, and no man, no matter how much he claims to love you, no matter how deeply he promises to support you, should ever have the power to shake your vision before it has even begun. A woman's success is not something to be predicted, it is something to be witnessed. So move in silence, and when the time is right, let them see what you have become. 4. A woman's past is her own, her pain, her struggles, the nights she cried when no one was watching. These are not stories to be handed over to just any man, no matter how much he says he loves her, no matter how many promises he whispers in the dark. Because love can shift, and devotion can fade, and if that day comes, the weight of her past may no longer be safe in his hands. It may become a weapon. Heartbreak changes a woman. It leaves invisible marks, etching lessons into her soul that only pain can teach. When a woman has walked through fire, when she has been burned by love and still survived, she carries that with her. But what she must never do is give those stories away too soon. Because let me tell you something. When you lay your past heartbreaks bare, when you tell a man too much too soon about the ones who hurt you, the ones who betrayed you, the ones who left you shattered, you are handing him the blueprint to your deepest wounds. You are showing him exactly where you have been weak. And not every man will use that knowledge to protect you. Some will use it to test your limits. Some will use it to see just how much they can get away with. Think about it. If you tell a man that your ex never listened to you, that he dismissed your feelings, that he made you feel small, a man with the wrong intentions won't take that information and say, "I will never do that to her." He will file it away, knowing that this is a pain you have already accepted once before, and when the time comes, when he is angry, impatient, or careless, he will push that same boundary. Not always out of cruelty, not at first, but because he knows someone else did it to you, and you stayed. That is why a woman must guard her past, not because she has something to hide, but because she has everything to protect. Your past is not a confession to be spilled in the early days of love. It is not a story to be poured out in the hopes that someone will finally understand you. Because understanding is not proven in words, it is proven in actions. A man who is truly worthy of your heart does not need to know every scar to love you properly. A good man will not need to hear about your past betrayals to know you deserve loyalty. He will not need a history lesson in heartbreak to know he should never take you for granted. His love, his respect, his kindness, these should come naturally, not because of the ghosts that haunt you, but because of the woman standing before him. But some men will listen to your pain like it is a map, charting every way you have ever been broken, every place you have ever been weak. And one day when the moment is right, when emotions run high and tempers flare, they will reach for that map. They will remind you of the things you thought were safe in their hands. They will twist your past into a weapon. That's why he left you. That's why you'll never be enough. That's why every man before me did the same thing. And suddenly, what was once trust has turned into regret. What was once vulnerability has turned into ammunition. And you will sit there, wondering how you ever let those words leave your lips. How you ever believed your past was safe in someone else's hands. So hear me now. Your past heartbreaks belong to you. Your pain, your lessons, your survival. These are not stories to be given away as proof of your worth. A man who truly loves you does not need to know every detail of who hurt you before him. He does not need to hold your past in order to love your present. Let him earn your trust with his actions. Let him prove himself through consistency, through patience, through love that does not require the ghosts of old wounds to guide it. And only when you know, without a shadow of a doubt, that he is the kind of man who will never use your pain against you, only then, if you choose, do you let him see the parts of you that were once broken. Because a strong woman does not need a man to fix her. She does not need him to heal what was broken. She needs him to love her as she is, without needing to know how she got there. And that is the difference between a man who deserves your heart and a man who only wants to own your past. 5. A woman's true strength. A woman's strength is her greatest weapon, the force that carries her through storms, the fire that keeps her standing when the world tries to knock her down. But not everyone deserves to see it. Not every man should know just how strong a woman really is. Because the moment he does, the moment he realizes she can survive anything, that she can endure pain, carry burdens, and still rise, some will take that strength for granted. Some will assume that because she is strong, she does not need protection, that because she is capable, she does not need care. And that is dangerous, because strength is not a shield that makes a woman invincible. Strength does not mean she never tires, never aches, never needs a safe place to rest. But the world does not always understand that. And some men, when they see a woman who can carry herself, who does not break easily, who does not crumble under pressure, will use that as permission to give her less. Think about it. Have you ever seen a woman who is always giving, always doing, always holding everything together, not just for herself, but for everyone around her? And yet the more she gives, the less she gets. The stronger she stands, the more people assume she doesn't need anything. Until one day, she is carrying the weight of the world, exhausted, drained, unseen. Why? Because her strength made them forget she was human. And in relationships, this can be even more dangerous. Because some men, when they see a strong woman, will think she can handle it. She can handle the late nights. She can handle the distance. She can handle the pressure. And instead of cherishing her strength, they will test it. Instead of protecting her heart, they will assume she can protect herself. And before long, she will find herself in a love where she is giving everything and receiving nothing. But let me tell you something. A strong woman does not exist to be tested. She does not exist to be someone's proof of resilience, and her strength should never be an excuse for a man to love her less. So a woman must be careful. She must be mindful of how much she reveals. Because the wrong man, the wrong people, will take that strength and drain it until she has nothing left. That is why a woman must never expose the full depth of her strength too soon. She must let a man believe, even for a moment, that she needs him. Not because she is weak, but because she deserves to be cared for. She deserves to be protected, not just admired from a distance. And hear me when I say this. A woman should never have to prove how strong she is to be loved. She should never have to endure pain just to show she can handle it. A man who truly loves her will not need to test her strength. He will honor it. He will see the fire in her spirit, the power in her soul, and instead of challenging it, he will cherish it. But some men only love what they can control. And a strong woman? She cannot be controlled. She cannot be manipulated. And that scares them. That is why a woman must move carefully. She must protect her power the same way she protects her heart. Because in the wrong hands, strength can become a curse. The wrong man will mistake her endurance for permission to do less, to give less, to try less. And by the time she realizes it, by the time she sees how much of herself she has given away, it may be too late. But a wise woman, she knows better. She does not let just anyone see the full extent of her power. She does not give away the secret of how much she can take. She allows herself to be soft when she needs to be, to receive love without proving she is unbreakable. Because true strength is knowing when to hold back, when to guard, when to protect the most sacred parts of yourself. And that is what makes a woman truly unstoppable. A woman's power lies not just in what she shows, but in what she chooses to keep to herself. Some things, her financial independence, her next move, her past heartbreaks, her true strength, are not meant for open display. They are meant to be protected, guarded, and revealed only to those who prove themselves worthy. Because in a world that often seeks to test, take, and control, a wise woman knows that mystery is her armor, and silence is her strength. Love, trust, and partnership are beautiful, but self-preservation, that is essential. If you found this video insightful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel for more deep dives into human behavior and relationships. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.